Here's another example of why we must build the border wall. In Charlotte, North Carolina, the DEA and local authorities took down a major drug operation and arrested more than a dozen people who planned to sell heroin, meth and cocaine in local neighborhoods. Officials said the deadly drugs were sent to Charlotte by a Mexican cartel called Cartel Jalisco Nueva Generacion, CJNG. This cartel is one of the most deadly cartels in America, operating in America, said DEA Acting Assistant Special Agent in Charge Dustin Harmon. The year-long DEA task force investigation included local officers, the State Bureau of Investigation, and the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department. The SBI assisted the DEA on a case involving 18 arrests where 40 pounds of heroin, 20 pounds of meth, and 7 kilograms of cocaine were recovered. That's a $3.5 million street value. DEA Acting ASAC Harmon and SBI SAC Bridges talked with Socked Vidalis and Sock 9 about the impact on #CLT, pic.twitter.com/WT9Cruisraj, NCSBI, at SBI 1937 March 28, 2019. The investigation resulted in 18 arrests, mostly in Charlotte, and the seizure of 40 pounds of heroin, 20 pounds of meth, and more than 15 pounds of cocaine. The drugs have a street value of $3.5 million. Police said a firearm and $8,000 in cash were recovered during the course of the investigation. Authorities said many of those arrested were living in the country illegally. A year-long DEA task force investigation has resulted in 18 arrests, most in Charlotte, and the seizure of 40 pounds of heroin, 20 pounds of meth, and more than 15 pounds of cocaine. The drugs have a street value of $3.5 million. pic.twitter.com/LNOMURR, CMPD News, at CMPD March 28, 2019. Officials said there was not one specific neighborhood these drugs were destined for but would have been sold across the Charlotte region. There are a lot of long nights and early mornings for the agents and detectives involved, but we understand that's what we have to do, SBI Special Agent in Charge Audria Bridges said. Authorities said they are committed to continuing to fight the cartel and the growing opioid epidemic. Read the full story via Sock TV. 6 in country illegally, tied to drug cartel, arrested during drug investigation via Sock TV. Iredell County, NC. A massive drug operation with ties to a Mexican drug cartel resulted in the arrest of 6 immigrants in the country illegally. 6 men are behind bars, accused of running an elaborate drug trafficking operation in Mecklenburg and Iredell counties. Read the full federal court documents. The man the suspects are tied to is the main rival of El Chapo's drug cartel. The operation was working under the Jalisco New Generation cartel. The human rights group Justice in Mexico reported last year that the Jalisco New Generation cartel started gaining power after El Chapo's arrest. Federal officials said more than 1,800 grams of meth were delivered from a luxury home in Statesville in August and October of 2018. The person who lived there, Oscar Rangel Gutierrez, is an alleged high-level cartel member. Rangel Gutierrez's parents lived in a large home in Troutman, according to the indictment. Agents said a credible informant told the Troutman Police Department in 2014 that large amounts of cocaine were being stored at the address. Court documents indicated that Rangel Gutierrez and the 5 other suspects were in the country illegally. Agents said Rangel Gutierrez transported 30 kilograms of cocaine and an unspecified large quantity of methamphetamine in a 1-month period from Texas to Georgia and North Carolina. An apartment in Hidden Valley, a home in Derrida and another home in East Charlotte are tied to the investigation, according to court documents. Misty Joyner lives near the home in East Charlotte where agents said Rangel Gutierrez stored drug proceeds while he and another suspect went to a nightclub. She can't believe their neighbors are potentially involved. Just devastating, Joyner said. They were good people. 4 of the suspects were in federal court uptown Thursday. They waived their preliminary hearings. 2 other suspects were arrested in Florence, South Carolina, and Cleveland, Ohio. El Chapo was convicted on drug crimes earlier this week and will spend the rest of his life in maximum security prison. His cartel was once the biggest supplier of drugs to the U.S. Arrested: Rodolfo Martinez, Oscar Rangel Gutierrez, Raul Rangel Gutierrez, Regulo Rangel Gutierrez, Francisco Garcia Martinez, Rigoberto Rangel Gutierrez.